All right, enough France. Let's move on to Lionel Messi. And these revelations from that we've seen in El Mundo.
The Barca leaks.
The Barca leaks, as they're saying. Now, there's several items to this. I think we need to talk about the revelations themselves.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about who is leaking this and why they're leaking it. And obviously, we're going to speculate because we don't know. The revelations themselves basically are a list of demands that in June of 2020. So this is once the pandemic had started. And everybody was panicking and cutting back and so on. Barcelona in really bad shape. But before the burofax, when Messi asked to leave and wasn't allowed to leave, at some point there's all these messages going back and forth between Messi's family, who act as his agents, and Barcelona.
And Messi has 1 year left on his contract then.
Yes, Messi has 1 year left on his contract. You can walk in free agency in a while. He tried to do the burofax to try to get free. That didn't happen. This is before that. So a lot of people have looked at these demands and say during a pandemic, these are things like a 10 million signing bonus. These are things like private flights back to Argentina. These are things like a box at the Camp Nou.
For him and Suarez family.
For him and Suarez family. Presumably his family's too small or they're just small people, so they didn't need to fill. You need some Suarez's to fill the box. And the one I found most shocking is he wants a 3-year deal, fine, plus an option to extend, but with a 10,000 euro release clause, which is another way of saying, I have a contract, but I can leave at any time. 10,000 euro release clause is basically like free, right? I found these things quite extraordinary. It's just a negotiation. Barcelona really angry about this and saying, well, there's legal implications here. How dare you punish this? Am I being cynical when I think current Barcelona don't really care one way or another? Past Barcelona, i.e. the Bartomeu regime, I don't think they mind that these are coming out. Do they?
No, definitely not. Not for them. For Messi, you do wonder. There's also the part that the money that was deferred from his wages during the pandemic, that he said, well, okay, I want you to pay that money back to me or pay me that money, but with a 3% interest rate on top. So what, you're charging your own club an interest rate for you to pay back the money that, okay, you deferred and you took down and say, okay, you pay me less because it's the pandemic, like a lot of players did. But not many players, from what I know, asked their club to pay them back, but not just the money they were owed, but a 3% interest rate on top of it. I mean, you earn 75 million net a year, 75 million net. You really need a 3% interest rate on what the club still owe you from the pandemic. I don't think so. Why?
It's pretty extraordinary. Messi hasn't spoken about this. I don't know if his side are going to respond. Luis Suarez has responded, sticking up for Lionel Messi, saying, whoever's leaking this, it's terrible. Lionel Messi built Barcelona. Without Lionel Messi, they're nothing. And okay, I understand why, if you're Luis Suarez, you've got a bone to pick with Barcelona, given the way you were treated.
And he's your boy, he's your brother. So,
fine. First of all, how about a little bit of respect? As enormous as Messi's contributions to Barcelona were, Barcelona are a club that won 2 Champions League titles before Messi arrived, or the second one he played like 3 minutes or something, right? So Barcelona existed well before. Barcelona are the club of Cruyff going all the way back to Paulinho Alcantara. That's not something Suarez, I think, should be saying. I don't think it makes him look good, right?
No, I agree.
Beyond that, as we found out, Messi was paid all these years. It's not like you can't show gratitude. At some point, how long is a piece of string? How much should Messi's contribution be valued at? What I find interesting, though, is from a PR perspective, and I'm all for hard negotiations, and you get paid as much as you can. But you can't have two images. You can't, on the one hand, drive such hard negotiations, taking advantage. And that's what you do in negotiations, right? You take advantage of how much your employer needs you. I don't have a problem with people who do that. Mino Raiola did it his entire career, right? But you can at the same time saying, look at all these sacrifices I'm making for the club. Look how much I love the club. Those two things, those two images are really hard. People are going to say, well, wait a minute. Which one is it?
Yeah. And by the way, he wanted the same wages as well, the 74.9 million euros net a year. He could have easily said, okay, this is the pandemic. I'm 32 at the time.
At the time, yeah.
So a 3-year deal, but you know what, just pay me the 60 million net a year or something. So he also wanted the same wages and all those things. You know, I think the private jet, a lot of players have that. I would think that Messi had that in previous contracts, so it was just same with the box at the stadium. But even that, you could say, with all the money he's earned through his career, he could have paid for that himself.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.